Hello, and welcome to the Monday edition of Minute of the Apes, the podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes films, 1 minute at a time. That's how you break down, I guess, a minute is 1 minute at a time. But we take our time, we watch these films, we make notes, we come back and share them with you. I'm your host, Todd, and on the other end is my dear friend, Sean.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. What a Monday morning greeting that is, hey-o.
Yes.
You ever wonder, too... Sean, how do you listen to podcasts? Do you listen throughout the day, or are you a morning listener?
I listen throughout the day. I have so many podcasts I listen to. I listen to it 3 times speed, so it's a bunch of chipmunks talking to me, and I try to power through it. Like, I've got 24 hours worth, if I were to listen right now, of podcasts, so I'm trying to crank through them.
You know, and I knew that about you. You know, Sean's the one that got me listening to these things, and I originally resisted because I thought I don't want to hear a bunch of people do bad production value. But then that's that I work in that field, and these things matter to me. And of course, people hear that, and I'm trying a new headphone today. I hope on the recording end it sounds better. The previous one I know sounded like crap, so hopefully this sounds better. But I couldn't listen for a while, but then I started listening. Sean got me into it. The one thing I can't do that you do, Sean, the whole chipmunk thing, you know, the baby Jesus cries when I hear chipmunks doing podcasting, so I can't do that.
Well, you got to ramp into it. You don't just go 3 times. It's like drinking. You start off a little bit. You go 1.5, maybe
What
2,
are you talking about? Screw that. I just start jugging a whole thing of tequila.
You were doing shots from the start?
Which I did, you know. I told Sean, I said, do I bring up the fact that I'm suffering from horrific hangover, having gone out with friends the night before? And it was one of those nights, too, where you do not chug it. It's, you want another? You want another? You want another? And by the end of it, you're like, what have I done? I woke up this morning and I thought, oh, God, Sean and I are going to record. I hope I don't sound like shit. So. It's
going to be a long week.
So
yeah, I'm on... Damn, Perlin, you put out another hardcore history, and it's friggin' 5 hours long.
Yeah.
So.
I try to get into his, and I can't do that. I listen, and I think I'm not smart enough to keep up with all of this. So while we're doing this, let's take a minute to thank Pete and Alex for creating this whole genre of breaking down things 1 minute at a time. The Star Wars Minute to me is probably one of my favorite go-tos.
Yep.
If anything, you know, the funny thing was here, I love the classic films, but the breaking down of the prequels has been it. I'm not saying it's made me like them, but at least made me laugh about them.
There you go.
So they do a great job. They're very welcoming to us. And then the whole community, which if you're at all interested and you don't know about it, there is a website, and Sean, correct me, we already talked about this, but if I get it wrong, moviesbyminute.com, correct?
Yes, that is it.
And that'll list everything. You've got the Back to the Future Minute. You got us. You got the coming Godfather Minute, the Star Wars Minute like we talked about. There's just tons of them on there.
Indiana Jones, I mean, stuff, Big Trouble in Little China, Spinal Tap, everything that you probably like, it's probably covered.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the cool thing is talking to a lot of members of this community, there are more and more podcasts coming, people trying things, you know, taking just one movie or taking a series of movies or things like that. So keep an eye on that, and whatever you like, somebody's doing it out there, and if not, come join the family. Do it yourself. It's not that hard. It's kind of fun, right?
Wait, this isn't hard?
Well, yeah, I'm the one pushing all the buttons, and Sean's over there going, this isn't hard. So I think that's all the housekeeping, right?
I think so.
So let's get into Planet of the Apes. So we're in minute 31. We start with our astronauts walking into a local hippie commune. I mean, what else can you call them but a hippie commune? They're all kind of standing around, oh, look, new people who have arrived who we've messed with their clothes, and it ends with... Uh-oh.
It ends with my alarm going off.
Oh. And it ends with our two sides sort of staring each other down. So when you look at the bookends of it, it sounds like not a lot happens, but, you know, believe it or not, to me, this at least shifts what we've been focusing on. We're out of the desert. We're not getting man buns or fruit baskets. We're getting guys with rubber dinghies on for clothing, staring down with the local weirdos.
Yes, at this point we've got 3 living humans, 1 dead.
At the bottom of the lake.
Yep, no apes and these bunch of humanoids out there.
Yeah, and a bunch of humanoids is rather loose because did you notice how often in the minute that the stalks of corn, which, by the way, we have corn. We're on a planet that has
I
corn.
saw. Yeah, make sure in the future to have some corn fructose out there.
Exactly. But it's like every shot of the humans for a while there are stalks of corn hiding their faces, almost to the point you think, did the main makeup artist not show up on the day of shooting, so they put corn in the way?
Yeah.
Um,
Why did Dodge get stuck with the poncho?
well, and that's my second note after we have corn is what is Dodge wearing? And I know we touched on this last week.
Yeah, I don't understand what that is.
But I can't figure out anything other than it's the dinghy, which I know we touched on this last week. Why? If you're in short supply of food, water, you got a gun that you can take yourself out and whoever you want to.
You've left the lake that you crashed into. Why are you carrying around the boat?
Right. Why do you take the time to deflate it, fold it,
pack it up,
put it in your metal backpack lunchbox, and carry it around? Why?
I don't know.
Or is it a spare dinghy?
This is the ANSA's game plan. Do things that nobody would actually want to do.
Well, if we think about, too, where it was on the spaceship, it was not exactly the most compact of folding efforts, on the spaceship. So how the hell did they get it into the metal backpack? Those are not big.
No. I don't. Well, this is what you get for leaving the 70s and going 1,000 years in the future. We don't have to try to justify things. We just do it.
Right. And so my next thought, though, is pretty much in that same shot with Dodge being dressed as such. We have a moment where both he and Landon, they have coconuts. But then we cut to a shot moments later and they're throwing the coconuts down. How did they get it? How did they open it? They're going to town on a coconut.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, what they're eating? Are those coconuts? Because those aren't coconut trees that they're getting the stuff out of.
Well, and it was something that kind of hit me was you got corn with coconut trees. You don't usually see those two crops together. I don't know that they grow well together, but I couldn't help thinking, if that is a coconut and they're drinking from it, I get why they're thirsty. I get why they want it. Once again, we're not testing things. We're not finding out for sure that it's a coconut. We just take it on blind faith. But having been someone that went to Key West with my wife and daughter, and my daughter wanting a coconut, the opening of a coconut, even for somebody vastly experienced with it, is not a conk, here you go. It's a conk, knock away at it.
You gotta peel the husk off the first part of it, then you gotta somehow break through the rind or whatever you call the coconut shell is what I'm looking for. Yeah, it's not. You work to get the meat and the juice out of that.
I think that Planet of the Apes needs to meet Tom Hanks from Castaway and get a lesson on opening coconuts, because if I watch that movie and that movie's gospel, it's a hell of a lot harder than what they make it seem.
Yeah, and Taylor is still just being a jerk. At least they haven't tried to bite us. I mean, you, Taylor. Blessed are the vegetarians. Dodge, you can eat it too.
Well, okay. So I agree with you. Taylor's a douchebag because my whole comment here in my notes is, after at least they haven't tried to bite us. What? Have they given you any indication that they're biters? Number one, why do you automatically think they're that? But is "Blessed are the vegetarians" some weird Bible verse that I missed in Vacation Bible School when I was a kid? Because what the hell does that mean?
Oh no, I went to church college. You didn't miss anything.
I heard that line and I thought, I know somebody is trying to perhaps be satirically referential to what he's seeing. But it's stupid. It was just
why do they assume they're vegetarian just because they see them eating available fruit?
Well, let's think about what they've done so far. They only look for tumbleweeds in the desert.
Mm-hmm. They kill the first plant they find.
Then they walk past the subsequent ones. These are not exactly the most observant people. It's dummies in space.
Yeah. I mean, it's again the strict ANSA standards of just starting to eat stuff without knowing if it's going to kill them. Mm-hmm. And again, where do they get that food? Because I see them grabbing stuff out of the trees, but I didn't see them or astronauts coming across any food, but they just magically have it in their hands. And just because I'm eating a salad now doesn't mean I'm not going to have a steak for dinner.
Well, this is also the same man that, and a few seconds later says, I think they're mute. He has such scientific brilliance to deduct that because they haven't said anything to him. That's like me walking into a bar and seeing 100 women look my way and go, they're all mute. No, they think I'm a dumbass and they don't want to talk to me.
Yeah. And Landon's got some bad beard buddies come to join him now.
Not only bad beard buddies, but did you notice some of the wigs on them? It literally looks like somebody went down to the local Costco on Halloween Day and picked up a wig and stuck it on somebody's head.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor gets a beauty that he's staring down. I mean, so he goes from asshole captain to, you can almost hear the boom, chicka, bow, bow in the background as he looks at her.
Yeah.
It's just this creepy, hey, how are you? I'm Charlton Heston.
He also looks like he's tweaking a little bit, like he's grinding his teeth. Like he's on some Molly or something.
Yeah, but that may be Charlton Heston's way. That's like a mating sign for him. Grinding my teeth, it means that I'm intense.
I'm sorry,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just from the three statements that you hear from him, I'm saying Landon is an optimist, Taylor's a pessimist, and Dodge is our scholar.
Yes, if anybody's mute too, it's Dodge. I mean, that boy, I don't mean to be derogatory. That man rarely speaks, if ever. But, at least he has a little bit more of an astute observation here and there.
Yeah.
But then Taylor, to me, shows his true nature in his final statement with if this is the best they got in 6 months, we'll be running the planet.
Yeah, I mean, you see one group of people, and they just make more assumptions. So if I land in Tibet, and I just happen to come across a bunch of monks that are pacifists, I assume the entire planet is full of pacifists?
Well, if you worked for ANSA, I guess you did.
Dicks. They're just a bunch of dicks.
At this point, I'm a little hungry for some primate-type species to come along and eradicate all this BS.
I don't know what you're referring to. If only there would be some apes.
Well, it's like, if I get a meal that teases that there is steak involved and it doesn't show up till the end, I'm still thinking steak's coming. So it's called Planet of the Apes. There's something coming.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't know if I believe you yet or not.
You're going to have to go on faith, Sean. Just on faith.
All right. We'll see what happens.
Have you got anything else?
I think that covers this minute for me.
I'm looking. I think that's it too. So, there you go. That's your Monday edition of Minute of the Apes. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you'll come back tomorrow and enjoy that one. But anytime you want to find us, you can go to our website, minuteoftheapes.com. You'll find all of our social media links there, email links, etc. And as we said before, go check out the other community at moviesbyminute.com. So, for my friend and co-host Sean, this is Todd. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.